Hi, welcome to lesson 12-6, combining volumes. Our learning goals will be to be able to decompose an irregular three-dimensional solid into smaller and regular solids. You will also need to be able to choose the correct dimensions from isometric, that means having equal dimensions or measurements, drawings so you can accurately calculate the volumes of the simpler shapes. Please write these down in your math journal, and whenever you're ready, go ahead and press play and we'll take a look at our first example. Our first example shows a three-dimensional shape that's irregular in size. So we're going to be finding volume, and volume always means that we are going to find length times width times height. Oops, let me turn this real quick so this works much better. All right, so we'll be finding volume, which equals length times width times height. Put that up there so we can always refer back to that. But first of all, we're going to have to separate this solid into two rectangular prisms. And so I just want to find a spot that makes the most sense to me, and I'm just going to even draw the little line in right here. So I can see, oops, that wasn't very straight, but I'm going to just pretend like I'm cutting it apart right there so that I can find the dimensions and volume of prism A and then prism B. So let's go ahead and take a look at the length, the width, and the height of prism A. So when I look at this, I know that my length, width, and height are 2 by 4 by 7 for prism A. So volume for prism A is going to be 2 centimeters times 4 centimeters times 7 centimeters. Right, and if I multiply 2 times 4 times 7, that's going to give me a volume of 56 centimeters. And then the way I label this is cubed, and I can do that by putting a little 3 right up there. Another way I could write this would be cubic centimeters, and that would be correct as well. And this is going to be prism A. Now I'm going to look at the dimensions of prism B. That's going to be 4 centimeters times 2 centimeters times, oh, let's see, 4 by 2 and then by 4 right here. I'm not going to use 6 because this would be 6 total across here, and I know this is going to be 2, so this breaks down into 4 and 2, and I know this because I know this side right here is going to be the same as this one. So we will go 4 centimeters times 2 centimeters times 4 centimeters, and that's going to be our volume for prism B. So if I multiply that together, 4 times 2 is 8 times 4 more, that's going to be 32 centimeters cubed for our volume for prism B. Okay, I'm not quite done though because I need to find the volume for this entire shape. I've broken it down into prism A and prism B, so now I'm going to need to add together 56 centimeters cubed plus 32 centimeters cubed to get my final volume of the entire shape that's comprised of prism A and prism B. So we'll have 56 centimeters cubed plus 32 centimeters cubed. I'm going to add those, and so that's going to give us 88 centimeters cubed as our final answer and the answer to our example. Now we're going to use this same thinking and understanding and formula as we work through some practice problems together. So here is our first practice problem. Here is our volume. We've got to find the volume of this solid figure. And you'll notice here before you work this on your own that this line has already been provided for you. So you can think of this as prism A and prism B or vice versa. And we're still going to want to use length times width times height to find our answer. So go ahead and work this problem on your own, and then we'll go through it together. And whenever you're ready, press play. Did you write 228 cubic centimeters? And this is the way we can label that problem. It also means the same thing as centimeters cubed. Well, let's find out how we did this. So if we look back at that problem, our first, if we called it prism A, would be 6 centimeters times 7 centimeters times 2 centimeters. And if we multiply all of that together, we're going to get 84 centimeters cubed. And the reason we write a 3 or say cubed is because we're looking at a three-dimensional shape that has length, width, and height. If we look at that second one, if we broke it apart and called it prism B, the dimensions of it are 6 centimeters times 6 centimeters and times 4 centimeters. So that's going to give us an answer when we multiply 6 times 6 is 36 times 4 more. That's going to be 144 centimeters cubed. Remember, we're finding the volume of the complete solid, so we have to add both of those together. So if I go ahead and do that, add 84 and 144, that's going to give us 228 centimeters cubed. Our final answer, and it's really important that we label that correctly. If you got that, good job. Let's take a look at our next practice problem number 2. Okay, so again we have to find the volume of this solid figure. There are different ways that we could break this apart into 2 prisms, but if I were you, I might look right here. This looks like the simplest way to go. All right, so on your own, I want you to try to find the volume of this solid and this one, and then you'll be adding them together just like we did it in the previous practice problem. Go ahead and give it a try. Make sure you label correctly and press play whenever you're ready to check your answer with mine. Did you get 380 cubic inches? And remember, we can also write this as inches cubed. All right, let's see how we'd work through that. So the dimensions of our first solid are 10 inches by 6 inches by 5 inches. And when we multiply 10 times 6 is 60 times 5 more, that's going to give us 300 cubic inches, or inches cubed. And our second solid had dimensions of length of 10, width of 2 inches.
If I can have one of the custodial staff members please come to the office with a dolly. Thank you.
And a height of 4 inches. We multiply 10 times 2 inches is going to be 20 inches times 4. That's going to give us 80 inches cubed. Now remember, we have to add those together so we know the total volume. So we're going to get a total volume of 380 inches cubed, or we could write it as cubic inches. If you got that, good job. Here's our challenge problem. Jim has a box in the shape of a rectangular prism. The area of the base of the box is 48 square inches. The volume of the box is 144 cubic inches. Let H equal the height of Jim's box.
Thank you, custodial staff.
Write and solve an equation you can use to find the height of Jim's box. This one is a little challenging, but I know you can do it. Just think through and remember to find volume. We have to know the length, the width, and the height. So think about that as you work through it, and we will check it tomorrow in class. Let's finish up. Please review your learning goals. Do you have the learning goals? And this time there wasn't any vocabulary, but the learning goals written in your journal. Do you have the example problem and practice problems written in your journal? And have you completed your challenge problem? Give it your best try and please show all of your work. You've now completed lesson 12-6, and we'll see you in the morning.